I was about 12 or 13 years old when I discovered vinyl. My neighbor gave us an old record player that wasn't working. My dad and I spent a couple of days fixing it up and then just crate digging at places like Goodwill and Value Village and stuff like that for old classical and jazz records. It took me a while to realize that new bands were still pressing vinyl, but once I got into that, it was just kind of nonstop. I love the Roncesvalles area. I've always been kind of privy to here as well as Junction, and the spot kind of presented itself. I think it's a very community-driven area. I like the fact that since we opened up 2 years ago, everyone's been really welcoming of us, and it is kind of like, you know, people stop by and shop locally. We do curate things pretty precisely, I'd like to say. I always try to listen to everything that we bring in so I know what it sounds like when I'm selling it. You can actually pull it out and listen to it right on the spot. So we kind of brought our listening station in so at least customers can get a taste of what they're buying. We try to do more of independent music, so stuff by artists that do it for the music rather than just for some executive. We've had a few rare pieces come through that kind of jump ship pretty quickly. We've got a couple like expensive box sets up on the wall behind us, and some of the more expensive titles we'll keep behind the desk over there. Like we had a original pressing of the Mars Volta's D-Louse and Comatorium. I definitely prefer vinyl to any other medium. I like the ritual that's involved when you play a record as opposed to just popping on a CD or going through digital. I mean, I'm not opposed to digital. I listen to digital a lot. We go through digital here sometimes as well. But I'm glad to see that people aren't kind of forgetting that vinyl exists. I was kind of sad to see a couple stores closing down, like Sam the Record Man back a while ago. But seeing a lot of smaller shops opening back up and just kind of being what we tried to do, right? It's great because I like seeing like-minded people opening up stores like this. I think that we have an area for local musicians to be able to sell their music. Whenever we have local musicians come in and bring their stuff in, we don't actually do consignment, we just offer a space for them to sell. We have, you know, poster boards where people put their stuff up, and we try to mingle around in the community as much as possible. We were planning on having like a booth over at the Polish Festival, and we've kind of worked with some of the coffee shops and cafes around here as well. In terms of like equipment and gear and that sort of stuff, we try to be like a one-stop shop when it comes to vinyl, so you can buy your records and you can buy the stuff to play them too. I've been thinking different directions. I was thinking about opening up a second store either somewhere in Toronto or somewhere else in Canada. I do want to kind of become more involved with some of the pressing plants that are opening up in Canada as well. Locally we've got, you know, Microforum and Viral that are doing new tech as well, so that should be interesting. I'm hoping that at some point in the future, far in the future, a record label might be something that works as well.